How's it going, everyone? Marriland here, and you're probably wondering what this video is all about. Well, this video will serve two purposes, actually. One, it'll show you the rules I'm going to be using for the Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke. And two, it will kind of give a backstory to why I decided to do a Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke and just sort of the story about it, because it's a little different than my previous series. And I just kind of did some interesting stuff. So, let's start with the rules. If you're unfamiliar with the Nuzlocke rules, these are basically a self-imposed set of rules designed to make the game more challenging. The rules are as follows. 1. You can only catch the first Pokemon that you encounter on any route or area. So, let's say the first thing you run into is a Starly. Well, you can only catch that Starly. You don't get a chance to catch anything else after that. So if you run into a Shinx afterwards, well, if it's still Route 202, let's say, that's not a Pokemon you can catch. You can only catch the first thing on any route. You don't have to catch it, but you can only do so. Some people like to include what's called the Dupes Clause, and this basically makes it so if you run into, say, another Starly at Route 203, well, you would not count that Starly as your first encounter because you already have caught a Starly. So you skip it as your encounter. You, well, depending on your interpretation, that's either, oh, you can't catch it, or, oh, you just don't count it. I am going to be playing with a somewhat slimmed down version of Dupes Clause. How it will work is I can only catch the first Pokemon on a route that I have not already caught before. However, if I run into any Pokemon that I have caught, well, I only get 3 redos, so to speak, as far as duplicates. So if I run into 3 Starlies, well, I don't get to catch anything on that route, period. It doesn't matter about Dupes Clause. So that's fairly limiting. I am counting evolutions in this, though. So if I catch a Starly, then Staravia is also counted as being under Dupes Clause. Now, this means later on in the game, you know, if I lose something, I don't get a chance to get that entire evolution line ever again. So that's kind of cool. It gives each and every Pokemon its own kind of individual personality, I guess, and I kind of like that. Anyway, I've gone a little off track there. Rule number 2 is any Pokemon that are fainted are considered dead and must be released. I know, that sounds extremely harsh, right? But it does make for an engaging story, and I found it to be just a really, it's an intense rule, but it's made the game so much more fun, doing Nuzlocke or my other variant, a Wedlock. Now, some people, they may choose to put fainted Pokemon into the PC. I will be just releasing them, because that's just how I roll. And lastly, this isn't an official rule, but it's like pretty much official. You need to nickname everything. I am going to be nicknaming all of my Pokemon. However, unlike my Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke and my Pokemon Heart Gold Wedlock, I'm not going to be using a naming theme. I'm just going to be naming things kind of whatever comes to mind off the top of my head. So, it should be kind of fun. It'll be an interesting change of pace. I'm not sure if I like it any better or worse, but I wanted to try it out. Okay, so those are the basic Nuzlocke rules. Got it? Other than the Dupes Clause, which is one of the most common introduced clause. I guess I'll be playing with Shiny Clause too, which means if I run into a Shiny Pokemon, then pretty much I drop whatever I'm doing and I try to catch that thing. Unless it's the first encounter, I don't get a chance to use it, but I should definitely catch it. Now, what about the new rules? Okay, now this is, you know, it's not going to be called something different. This is still a Nuzlocke, but I am imposing additional rules to make this already challenging game more challenging. What are those rules? Well, let me explain them to you. The first rule is, I cannot use any items from my bag, other than Pokeballs, during a battle. So this means I can't use any healing items in battle other than held items. I can't use any X-Defense, I can't use any antidotes, I can't use anything like that. Nada. I can use Pokeballs, obviously, and I can use other variants of Pokeballs. I'm not, you know, limiting myself to Pokeballs only. It doesn't really matter. I'm doing enough stuff in this challenge to make it difficult as is. I don't think it's a big issue. But anyway, that should help kind of reduce the common complaint of, oh, you're using healing items too much. Yeah, well, this will make it more intense, that's for sure. Now, I'm also going to be playing the whole game on the set mode as opposed to shift. What this means is, let's say you're in a trainer battle. Normally, after you take out one of their Pokemon, you're given the option to switch out for another of your Pokemon before the trainer sends in their Pokemon. In this, I have to leave my active Pokemon out. I can switch out, but it's then going to take a turn to do so. Sort of like, fights against other players. So it's kind of like that. Definitely makes the game a lot more challenging. And that coupled with the healing restriction thing, or the item rule, oh man, that's going to be brutal. On top of all of that, one other thing that people doing Nuzlocke oftentimes do is overlevel their Pokemon. I mean, that's not really a problem because it does help you enjoy the game a bit more. I like challenges and stuff, so I try to keep mine, not too high. A lot of people like to go maybe 10 levels higher just to be sure, and hey, that's fine. Everyone plays Nuzlocke differently, and I think that's cool. But one thing I'm going to be doing in this one is I will have level limits in place. After every gym, the level limit will change. Now, it starts at 14 because that is what Rorik's his best Pokemon's level is. It's level 14. Then, I don't remember off the top of my head what the level steps are, but they will always be the gym leader's highest level Pokemon, the upcoming gym leader's highest level Pokemon. I can't go any further than that level. If I do, if any of my Pokemon go past that level outside of that gym leader battle, then I have to release that Pokemon. Yep, it's gone. I have to release it. I won't count it as dead for, the storyline purposes or whatever, but I will have to release it, and that'll be really unfortunate. What this means is it'll keep me from overtraining. And in a game like Platinum, which is notoriously difficult for Nuzlocke, in fact, I was reading around, for the official Pokemon games, it's probably the most difficult Nuzlocke to take on, which is great. I think the level limit will help make things even more challenging. It's not like a super low level kind of thing, but it'll keep me from using leveling up, or over leveling rather, as a way to get around the set mode or the healing thing. So that'll be cool. Also, once I get to the Elite Four, in that point of the game, the Pokemon League, the level limit will be increased to whatever Cynthia's highest level Pokemon is. As opposed to the Elite Four, the first member, Aaron, whatever his Pokemon is, yeah, because that'll make Cynthia nearly impossible. So, after the 8th gym, then my level limit is increased to whatever Cynthia's highest level Pokemon is. Alright, awesome. And while this is not an official rule, it's just kind of one of those things on the side. I will not be using any guides or anything to look up trainers' Pokemon. I don't need to research any of that. While that's a nice thing and an effective thing to do if you're playing a Nuzlocke, particularly if you're new to Nuzlocke, now that I have one Nuzlocke and one Wedlock kind of under my belt, I think I'm ready just to do this off of memory. So if I don't remember what move a Pokemon has of a gym leader's team, well, tough luck. That's just too bad. I can still look up, say, Pokemon, where I can find them, what's here and there. I can look up what moves Pokemon learn, because, this is stuff I might just do in my spare time. I like to kind of remember what things do, as opposed to just leveling up and finding out, oh, wow, this isn't really that great. But as far as the actual boss fights in the game, or even just random trainer fights, I'm just going to try to remember, because I've played through this game so many times. So I should be able to remember most of it, but I think that'll help add a little bit to the challenge. Well, those are the rules I will be playing by. Pretty exciting, huh? Okay, so now that that's over with, I think it's time to talk about the Pokémon Platinum Nuzlocke. So, what is it, you ask? I mean, you know the rules, but why? Why Platinum? Well, first of all, Pokémon Platinum is indeed my favorite game. I have just gone back and forth between that and Black and White 2, and really, oh man, Platinum is it is my all-time favorite. I just love it. So it'll be fun to Nuzlocke that. But another really important thing is I actually started this challenge back in February. Yeah, February. And it isn't like, oh, I'm just going to keep this from you or whatever. No, originally I started the Platinum Nuzlocke challenge as just a fun challenge that I needed to escape for a little bit. I was getting really upset because people were all like, oh, you're using too many items, you're doing this, you're healing, your Pokemon are all over leveled because they're 2 levels higher than whatever. Oh man, and it's like, I don't know, it just gets frustrating after a while. It's like, you know what? Fine, whatever. I'll just try a really difficult challenge, pretty much just to prove to myself that, yeah, I can do this. And I figured along the way, I might as well record it. Now, I mostly just wanted to record it to get screenshots for it, but I figured, you know what? I'll use some headset I had lying around. It's actually not being recorded with my standard microphone setup. It's with this kind of cheap headset I just got. And, yeah, that's kind of how it came out to be. I started a topic about it over on the Marriland Forums, which you can find at Marriland.com. I will have a link to the description even, but what I did was I kind of chronicled my adventure back in February and March, sort of like a log. This is actually a big thing to do in the Nuzlocke community. Not all Nuzlockes are videos. In fact, a lot of them are either comics or like stories and stuff, but a lot of other people just do screenshot runs where they just post screenshots of their game and add commentary. And that's just fine. So I figured, you know what? I'll do that. I'll just start there, post some screenshots, add some comments, and we'll be good to go. We'll see how that goes. I wanted to get the people of the Marriland Forums kind of into it, kind of more engaged and involved, and I wanted to help promote the Pokemon Challenges forum over there, which is a great place to go if you are doing a Nuzlocke or a Wedlock or a Monotype or any number of different challenges. You can go there and post what challenge you're doing and keep it updated and stuff. So that's why I wanted to do it there. I didn't really figure the challenge would go too far. I mean, I knew, oh wow, well this is a hard game, I'm imposing some hard rules. I don't know, but I'm not going to spoil anything. But let's just say I realized, hey, this will actually make a fun video series. It'll be good. I'll have this be the next video series. So as I was playing through, just for fun, mind you, I realized, hey, fine, we'll have this be the next series. And that is where we're at today. That's why the Platinum Nuzlocke is, it might sound kind of weird from the very beginning because I wasn't sure if I was even going to do a video series of it. I just recorded it just in case. Just in case it turned out to be really cool, I figured it'd be neat to have that. So early on, you'll hear me say things like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to record this or, stuff like that. Well, that's why you hear that, because I wasn't sure at the time. I just wanted to do something to kind of prove to myself, hey, you know what? Just because I use items in this Wedlock or Nuzlocke that I'm doing a video series of, where, if you mess up, there's 40 hours of work just done. So, yeah. Now, what this means is I actually have a bit of it pre-recorded, since I recorded quite a bit of it back in February. Now, I haven't finished it, mind you, so, new stuff, like new stuff will be trickling out, but it'll all be new to you, so don't worry. I also figured this would be an interesting style because I would always read the comments and stuff from the videos, and that would kind of give me an idea of what to do. I want to go through this kind of on my own wit, so it's almost kind of nice not having to deal with the comments or not having to have them influence my decision. I know it takes away from the interactivity a little bit, but I hope it won't detract from the experience too much. I think it'll still be fun. Besides, this way you get to see me just kind of playing the game and enjoying it too. So, I mentioned something about it being available on the forums, the Marriland Forums. Well, that is indeed correct. Let me elaborate on that. So, I started a topic on the Marriland Forums in the Pokemon Challenges section, and I kept it updated with all the stuff as the Nuzlocke was going on. So, that would be a really cool place for you to check out, if you don't mind having the first bit spoiled for you. Now, when I say spoiled, I mean, you can read about it as much as you want. So, spoilers beware in there. If, however, you do want to, do that, please don't be spoiling it for everyone else in the comments here. I'm not afraid to really just block people that are rude like that. No skin on my nose. But it's, it's one of those things. I don't know how well it'll turn out. I don't know if that was the right decision or not, but I wanted to try it. And I think having it on the forums is a cool idea too. I also think it's a great place for you to go if, you want to post about your own challenge. But in the meanwhile, you can actually watch that, or not watch it, but you can read the topic there and get an idea of what happens if you're just too impatient to wait for each episode. However, it will spoil a bit, but you'll miss all that commentary that I'll be adding, so it'll still be fun watching. I guarantee it. I'll be sure to have a link in the description for you to check it out. And last but not least, the question that people will probably be asking before they even finish watching the video, probably even before they start watching the video, is when is the Nuzlocke? When is it? Come on, man, when? You've been holding on to it since February? What's that all about? When is it? Just post it already. Jeez, come on. You said it'd be Okay, first of all, I said it would be out in late May. And today, when I'm doing this recording, it is the 22nd. So, yeah, it'll be out this week, by the end of the week. And I'm not going to tell you when, but it'll be out sometime then. So, if you're still asking, when is the Nuzlocke, that only proves you didn't watch this part of the video. So that's when it is. That's as specific as I'm going to be. I'm not telling you exactly when. You'll just have to keep checking and keep watching, and you'll find out when. But it will be this week, probably within the next few days. And yeah, that is when it's going to be. So, on that note, I think this is a good spot to end the episode, or intro, or whatever you want to call it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you are looking forward to it. Again, you can find links in the description to find the topic if you just simply can't wait. And as always, be sure to check out the Marriland Forums. Check out Marriland. I've been putting a lot of work into it. That's what I really do. So yeah, I will see you next time, everyone, on Marriland's Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke. See you next time, trainers.